Okay, so today's lesson is going to be the beginning into a new series of what we call collapses. I've decided to name it collapses because I don't want to use the word hold again, because it just gets too much. Like today we're talking about origin levels and how they collapse a move. And if we started to call it origin holds, there's just too many holds. It gets a little too cumbersome. And then if we called this one origin holds, then there's a whole entire series of lessons to come after that, and it would be inverse holds, this hold, that hold, and it would start to get a little too wordy and confusing. So for that reason, we're going to call this collapses, and collapses enters into a new type of trading that we do and a new way that we can read the charts. So origin levels, and that's what we're looking at. I've kind of pre-marked out a few to start just to take some time off. I actually have to refresh my memory where I even put them, because I just kind of quickly went and found my first examples that I could find on the charts, and that's it. So a collapse of a move shows you when you're going to completely move the other way. Like a collapse of a move, there's an event that happens here, causes the move to collapse. There's an event that happens here, causes the move to collapse, etc., etc. And there's different ways we can see that. So today we're focusing on one of the basic ones, which is origins. So a collapse happens when you have, the first thing we have to do is define what the levels represent. So an origin level and a 4-hour level here both appear to be the same. They're 4-hour time frames. However, there's a hierarchy to these two levels. The origin level is hierarchy +1. So I don't want to think of that as +1 -1. I want to think of that as a time frame up. So this is equal, the 4-hour level here is equal to a daily level. So origin levels always have the same relevance as the higher time frame up. So if this was a 1 hour like this would be equivalent to a 4-hour hold level or a 4-hour break level. Origins carry that. Just reverse that. Origins carry that same value when we look at time frames and relevance, and a daily level will always take precedence over a 4-hour origin. So I want to just be clear on that. So for example, if you had a daily level here, they both get hit at once, you still must engineer time frame down. So you would start with the daily, giving it more relevance. However, it is of the same value on when it's an origin level as the level above. So when you're engineering a move, you wouldn't go and say, okay, let's engineer from, what do we pick? Do we pick the daily or do we pick the 4-hour origin? While they hold, and I'll just call this strength for a lack of a better term, not that it's strength, while they hold the same strength, they are not equal. The daily is still technically a time frame higher up, but we engineer from that origin in this case. But if that daily had been there, we would use the daily to take precedence over that to find out what 4-hour levels were there, in origin included. And if we had an origin level and a daily hold, the origin could break it down, but the daily hold could also break it down, right? So that's just an important clarity to make right from the start. So we're going to see in this example, I'm going to just cut this replayer tool off here. What's going to happen, and I'm going to explain this first before we look at the examples. What's going to happen is you're going to have an origin level. And an origin level, first off, just to quickly define this, must have separation between candles. So this is not an origin level here if 2 candles are hit. There is no separation. Had this been a blue candle and there was one more white one that comes up like that, then fine. That's an origin level. There has to be that degree of separation there, and it has to come off of that origin level. So then, you have this as the first touch, second touch is going to happen somewhere out here. This is the origin level. Now, when we see that happen, you will collapse the move, and we're calling this origin collapses because that's exactly what it's doing. It's collapsing it based off the origin of the move, and we'll have inverse collapses, we'll have break collapses, we'll have all sorts of different archetypes of collapses and moves and how we can see them reverse, because now you're getting into things like market reversal and things like that. We'll get more into that in the future, but again, today is just origins. And when you have a 4-hour, again, because that time frame is technically 1 up, you need to create the same time frame, a hold level. So we're just going to quickly get to that point. Ooh, we went 1 candle too far. Let's reverse this here. You're going to have that same thing, right? So this is now going to open into +1 -1. You have a break level here. You hit it as an origin. Remember, this is not equal to a 4-hour hold level. So the first +1 -1 you would have to do to lose this move would be to create that 4-hour hold level. So that's what you see right here. And you can just kind of move forward 1 candle. And you can see that's the beginning criteria to having something completely collapse like this. You go down to the 1-hour charts, and you're going to see where you have the 1-hour level. And that's right here, just for clarity, right there is where that creates. So you have a 1 hour level here. If this holds the move down, it will go and it'll +1 -1 to the 15. And you can see the 15 is right here. It's very thin, this one. You would almost want to have maybe a secondary confirmation right here. You'd almost want to have that secondary confirmation. For me, this is a little too thin, but we're going to go back to the 4 hour. Maybe we'll just do the hourly because the 4 hour is just going to show one candle. We're going to just show how the architecture of this move does collapse. So you create the 4 hour right here, right? You hit that, you create your hold level on the bottom, just like that. Like I just said earlier, that famous clip of me where I say, create the 4 hour and let it dump, right? That's the exact same setup we're using here. And that's the setup that I used to call that out years ago or whatever. I don't remember how long ago. This is a few years now. 2 years. And so you hit the 4 hour origin, you create the 4 hour level. The hourly, which is the +1 -1 to collapsing this level, holds that move down, right? You have your 15-minute hold level. That also holds it down. And then your 5-minute hard close is going to completely collapse the move, right? Because what you're doing there is you're just using +1 -1s and the architecture is building up and through the move. And then we're going to go find that 15-minute level. Let's find the hard close on the 5-minute, which would be this candle right here. At that point, the only thing you have left here is possibly like some type of range trend. I'm not sure if it's on the 1 minute, the 5 minute. I don't know where this exists. Like we're not walking through the trend of the move. But the point is the final thing you'd have left is your 5-minute level, and that's it. You have a reverse here. You have this one here. This was never tested, so you can use that reverse. If this move doesn't hold, if this doesn't hold up the move is gone. And at this point, the move is kind of already gone anyways. There's not really much holding this thing up. But that's where you see the 4 hour creates, the 1 hour holds, the 15 holds, the 5-minute is kind of like the last straw. Yep, there's a hard close, and then it just sinks instantly after. And that's going to be, quite a big move down. It's, you look at a 1 minute candle. Oh, 1 minute candle's not available. Okay, that's fine. We'll get back to it the hard way. Let's go back here. Which one was it? I believe. I don't even know which one we were just looking at. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one up here. Okay, perfect. So then you get that collapse of that move right there. Let's take the replayer tool here. Take it back to that same spot, right? Take it back to that same spot and go to the 5-minute candle. So we can't go to the 1 minute candle, and that's fine. But you can see one 5-minute candle, it instantly breaks the move. So this is where you see moves collapse completely, and you've got a 5-minute candle. And even if you were to see that hard close on that candle by the next candle, you have 10 minutes on 150%. That's where you see a move collapse. And this is how it happens off of origin levels. And so we're going to continue looking at different examples just so we can get some further clarity here. And that's fine. You hit this you hit this origin again, that cycle repeats, right? That cycle repeats. Whatever this had hit down here when this had collapsed, I'm sure there's something in here, whether it be an origin or whatever level. Like we're not level finding in this example, but you can just mark this on your chart and see that 4 hour collapsed, created some type of finalized trend like this. And that would have been the kind of final part of this move to hold it up. I'm just going to go blue. I'll assume it's an hourly. I have no clue, but it's actually probably a 15-minute by the looks of the candle. Now I'm curious. Son of a bee. This isn't exactly what I don't want to do. That's okay. It's not a 15. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. So now we're going to go back into the next example of this. 4 hour hits again, right? You've got the 4 hour hit here. You've got an 4 hour right here, which does, let's change that color. 4 hour hit right here, right? You've also got this 4 hour here, which you can use as a reverse level. Just want to make that clear. You can use reverse levels in this case. We're just going to use this to keep it a little simpler for now. You got a 4 hour level here, right? When you gain that 4 hour level, you've got an hourly here. You can use these examples up here with a reverse. I don't want to get into that today, but we're just going to leave it like as it is. You've got the hourly right here after, oopsies. The hourly here, move down to the 15. After that, you've got the 15 either here or here, whichever you want to use, it's fine. Typically, you're going to want to move them forward in time, but we don't have a 15 here. So that's it. There's simply no 15. So you can't really use a 15 here. And that's all that you have to hard close is that 15-minute candle. So just like this example, the previous one we did, not this one, but the previous one we did, you can see the same collapse structure everywhere, right? You don't actually have a 15-minute hold level here. So it's your hourly hard close, right? Or your 15-minute hard close, because you don't have that 15-minute architecture anywhere. And then you can see instantly the same thing happens. You know, this time it's 2.6%. It's a full percent, one candle. And that's all you have on this trade. You have the 4 hour here, it hits. You have your hourly here, 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 right? It doesn't matter where you pick your hourly. It's going to be, you know, you might even have like an origin level here on a 5. That's fine. The important part is, hopefully we don't lose this chart. Your hourly hold level is here, and then it hits there. Go back to your 15. You don't have any 15s. Collapse and move here, collapse and move here, backside, either one. It's all going to be the same here. If you're holding these moves, you're holding them regardless. The hourly kind of disconnects the time frame there, and that's it. And then you see that big collapse again. You can engineer it back here too. I've left these examples up from when we talked about this yesterday. Not something I'll get into today, but you can use that reverse level as well. Let's find the next one. We did that one. Let's go find the next one on the charts. You've got a 4 hour origin here, right? So you've got first touch, second touch, 4 hour level, right? So when you start to move down +1, -1 through this, you're going to see exactly that. So we go to the hourly part of the move now. You end up creating an hourly origin here. So this is an interesting setup because you have your 4 hour level, right? You have your 4 hour level that you've gotten under. You've hard closed it here. When you hard close this 4 hour and you held the move down, you actually created an hourly origin. So this is kind of interesting because this one's almost like a two-way setup. At that point, you also create the hourly here, right? So now we need to see where that 15-minute level is. I guess we can just go back to the hourly until we find it. So you hard close that hourly there. Now you're going to have the 15, which is right here. So now you hard close this one right there, right? It's kind of a good rebuy spot there too, that 15-minute. That 15-minute holds it, right? So you hit that 15, go to your 5. Hopefully that's good. 5-minute hard close right here. And then almost instantly you can see this move collapses a full 1% and then just continues to die down here. Well, we go to a higher time frame. We don't need to watch the 5-minute charts. Can even go here, hourly. Again, you're going to have to see and engineer the stuff back here. That's fine to see what it's holding. But you can see there where that origin collapses the move. Again, 4 hour. It does create a 1 hour setup, and that's fine. But then look at the size of the move down, and we're not even 6%, and I'm not even sure how far this thing goes down, right? So you can see where that origin, what tried to break the move, also creating the 1 hour, had a hell of a run. Almost broke up to attack this move, but then from that there, you've got a 16% dump because that's the nature of these origins when they reject. You know, you have an origin because it's attempting to break out a move, and then when it can't break out a move, it completely collapses the chart. So you've got the 4 hour there. It ends up creating an hourly, all the same structure we use, all the same engineering, all the same architecture, you know, 4 hour hold levels, and you know, just go down to see if the move can hold to maybe come back up. It can't, but those buys, they exist up here and off of this. Right, there's a huge pullback here, and then it creates kind of this double setup, and then it you know, acts appropriately. So let's take this off, and let's find one more. Well, we have this which could create in the future here, so I want people to be aware of that because now there's you know, a certain class of engineering that has to be done there. But let's actually look at just, and we can kind of, well, we've got 2 more examples. I guess we can go through both of them here. Hourly origin. Right? It's that level. Hourly origin has to create an hourly hold level because that's technically one time frame under it, right? So then you've got the hourly origin hits, hourly origin hits here, hourly hold level here, breaks the move right here. So from this point, this candle, we engineer the 15-minute to see where that exists. So we've closed this. Let's see where the 15-minute can be. The 15-minute is then this. Let's actually highlight the candle that broke this so we know. This is the candle that broke it. So we're just going to highlight this here, not because we need to mark that level, but because we need to engineer forward past the hard close, right? So your hard close here, engineer forward. Where does that 15-minute level exist? So you've got that there. 15. So you've got that there, 15-minute level. You could have this here. And typically you're just going to, use your combo levels at that point too, because you've got everything all the way from this right here, which that level could have held it down to this down here to this front side here. Like there's 3 levels, pick your greediest one, right? Like this is very common, pick your greediest one. If you get in here, perfect. If not, use your second entry. If not, use your third, right? So you've got entry 1 is perfect, entry 2 is perfect, entry 3 is still perfect. You get, no matter which 15-minute level, this is a game of greed at this point. This is not what we're talking about in this. This is just a game of greed with combo levels. What's the best entry? If you miss it, what's next? And is this thing continuing to collapse, right? And then so you've got your hourly there. You've got this here. Where does the first hard close exist? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Like you can just remove those. That's the hourly. Even if you wanted to use this 15, where does that hard close exist? If you use this one, that hard close exists here. If you use this one here, it's either way. You're going to get to the same result in these trades because we've just seen kind of what happens next. And then you've got your hard close. You've got that there, and you've got your hard close here on the 5. So from this moment, it should just straight down. And it does. Oopsies, I don't want that level on there. And it does. It just goes straight down. And you're at the same point here where, 2% move straight down, almost instant. Like it is a very quick trade. These happen very fast. And then I'm sure it looks like you hit something down here. And the type of architecture, origin, not really important, but you're going to your appropriate levels, right? Yeah, it looks like right here, hourly hold or whatever this ends up being. Again, not important for this lesson. We'll go do the final one. You have a 4-hour there, right? So we're going to do this one because this one's cool too. You have a 4-hour, and I like this one because it shows where the origin's created on that separation. 4-hour, this is a break level. This is the origin right here. So that's that separation I'm talking about, where you pull away from the level, you don't touch it, and then you create that next candle as the origin, right? So we're just going to go here, do the same thing, cut this off. Once you get under this, I believe it's already hard closed here. Yeah, there's already the move is already there. Now you're finding the hourly, right? So you're just gonna actually we need to keep it on the 4-hour here. The 4-hour just completely crushes it down. So that's gonna be too fast. But the same thing is going to apply where you have the 4-hour here. This is your hourly level. So let's get underneath that hourly level, and then you can see that 15-minute right here backside. Oopsies, right there. Backside is that entry on the move. And then first 5-minute candle to hard close that as well. I don't know if you actually hard close the hourly here. No, you just go straight down here, but the setup still exists from the top right there. Like you still have origin level, 4-hour, lose the hourly, bounce at 15. And then you're going to have some 5-minute candle after that 15-minute bounce. You've got the 5-minute hard close. And then you see much the same thing. You've got another, 1.5%, 2.5%. It'll literally same exact setup, same thing every single time. You're just using +1, -1 with the understanding that these origin levels have to create their own timeframes because technically that's hierarchy down. So that would be the same as a daily is greater than, it's like a daily level. We're just going to say level, not origin. A daily level is greater than a 4-hour level. A 4-hour origin is equally greater than a 4-hour level. And that's why we need to create the 4-hour level here. Just like an hourly level is equal to a 4-hour hold relative, that we wouldn't use an hourly origin over 4-hour hold, but in strength relativity, it's greater than the 1-hour hold level, the 1-hour origin equal to the 4-hour hold level when we're engineering down.